Hey, look, this is really awkward for me. This is really weird. Um, I'm mostly doing this for my kids so they can have some memories, awkward memories of the dad when they're older. My name's Stephen. I live in London. I'm a father of a 2-year-old. The first time that my experience and adjustments of being a father, becoming a dad. What's fun, scary, as most would expect when they have the first child. So let me just tell you a bit about myself. So my background, I come from a background of creating and making props for movies. Did a few illustrations, sculptures. I also like to do practical sculptures. Now I'm moved on to 3D sculpting. Makes it easier as well now. But before that was literally my life, making sculptures, design and those kind of stuff. Then when my little potato arrived, I carried on doing that, carried on working, stuff like that. Life adjustments, just change and everything. But my projects, I found out that my projects took a backseat, my own projects. I still carried on working, as I said, because my projects took a backseat, as I said, as usually I would finish work, come home, and work on my own stuff. So my own illustrations, my own stories I would write, as I wanted to be a, funny enough, kids book illustrator and writer and stories and stuff like that. And I had my own not props, but my own sculptures and designs, creature designs and just random stuff from manga characters like Dragon Ball Z and One Piece and stuff like that I would do. I found enjoyment on those things. Of course, my wife and I had a daughter, and amazing. It was I always wanted a kid, and when we always kept it surprises, like if it was a boy or a girl. I always wanted a girl at first. It's just because I come from, I have an older sister, and I don't like that dynamic of having an older brother and a younger sister. Don't know why, I just guess childhood trauma. So when she basically came into the picture, my projects took a backseat because she was now my priority. And it was cool because I work from home, right? Some of the times. And I would want to spend more time with my daughter to like just be more present, be more around. I come from a childhood background. My dad was never around. It was just my mom, and then my mom came to the UK. When I'm from, I'm Colombian. I was born in Colombia in 1989, and I just had my grandma. Literally everything I learned and everything I know is just my grandma. Everything I learned about God and life and respect, and it was all my grandma. So I wanted to pass that down to my daughter, and on top of that, being around and being there for her. You know, my biggest worry about being a dad was not messing my child up, not ruining her, not giving her any child trauma, the things that I went through growing up. Like being honest, I had a really pretty cool childhood. Grew up with my sister, my older sister. Was always out playing, skateboarding, jumping from, places that is just ridiculous. What kids do, right? That sometimes I think like, how the heck did I even do that? How am I still alive? Just crazy stuff. But again, there was also the school times where presentations or plays or whatever, that my mom or my dad was never there. So I had my grandma, of course, amazing. But then growing up with that trauma, I kind of thought, I don't want to do that to my child. Luckily, my wife and I have an amazing marriage. We met in church. We're believers of Jesus Christ. We believe in God. And I think that's really important in a household, to have that belief, especially when you're raising children. So yeah, like my daughter, I'm actually, at the beginning I was so scared. That was one of my biggest worries. But and felt the pressure of messing messing my child up. Like many of you, like, can probably understand of that, how like you might have your own childhood trauma that has been really difficult growing up and everything. So I wanted to shield my daughter from those things. My biggest concern was, as a new parent, was keeping that positive experience, as like, so I'll be home and I'll read when I'm not working, and try to put that away, put my phone away, don't want to be disturbed, just want to give all my focus to her. So I'll read her books, even though if she was still a tiny little potato. I love Studio Ghibli books, so Ghibli, a lot of people have issues with that. I call it Ghibli, but I know it's Ghibli because it's an Italian. Anyway, let me go on a whole another topic on that another time. So I'll read her books and just go through all those stories. It's just more to understand, but I was building those memories. I'll take her out to the park. I'll take her skateboarding. I did a crazy thing. We went down a hill, and she was on the front of my skateboard. We're sitting down, and first thing I asked my wife is like, "Do you trust me?" Just like always, of course. But it was pretty crazy, but fun. And I got those videos to show her. Like, I've showed her now. She's 2 years old now, and it's pretty cool, the kind of person that you kind of start seeing and noticing. She has bits of my wife, she has bits of me, and now that we're expecting another child, like, we can't wait to meet that kid. I call it Peanut. We don't know what it is. Yeah, we don't know the sex of the baby. Everyone is telling us a boy because of the way of the belly. We don't really think about those things much, but I think it's a boy. I'm kind of like hopeful. I'm just thinking I want it to be a boy because I want to have, I already have a girl, so I want to have a boy. And again, like I was saying before, is that I always like to have a girl first and then the boy. Of course, it's not up to me, it's up to God. But if it is a boy, So seeing her now, like growing up with her and seeing all her little quirks and stuff. And another thing, that reading Studio Ghibli books to her when she was little. And now, like, she loves Totoro, she loves Ponyo. And it's like, yeah, of course, I had a lot to do with that. She's also like, every time that all growing up, we've always sat down together to eat, and we always pray before a meal and give grace. And now she has to do it. She doesn't let us do it. She doesn't let my wife do it. She doesn't let me pray. She just says, no, I'll do it. And she prays. Of course, she repeats herself a lot, but it's that thing that I've kind of like, I feel like I've achieved some good things being a first-time dad. And now with the second child, I feel like, yeah, we got this. Like, I got this. As a dad, I know I'm going to be good and I know this and that. But there's still, again, those worries, especially if it's a boy. There's different ways you literally, you treat a daughter to a son. And I've seen this in first hand with, like, my sister's nephews and niece. The way that everyone is all raised differently, even though in the same household. I did hear one time there was someone's, I remember it was a video or something, when they were saying that a guy was saying, I was raised, my parents were together their whole life, they're still together, but I turned out so different from my sister. And I never experienced that again because I never had my mom and dad there. Because my mom she came to the UK to work, to bring my sister and I for a better future, and I respect that. I love that about my mom. But as a child, you never understood those things because why would you? You know, you just feel like you got abandoned. But going back to us, I'm just losing really. I think I need to write things down so I can remember, like the topics. So going back to what I was saying is that even though they were raised in the same household with the same parents, you know, the same mom, the same dad, they both turned out really different from each other. And I found that really fascinating because not only your children grow, but they're watching you grow. And I found that like really, like, it impacted me a lot because I started thinking, you know what, like, I need to watch myself the way I act around my daughter, because I'm her first comparison or judgment to what a man is. I know the world is at the moment with so many about men, women. I don't want to get into that. With all respect to everyone's opinions and thoughts and everything, I don't have anything to say about that. So yeah, just I'll leave that alone. Maybe in the future, if someone wants to bring it up or talk or ask, I don't know, I'll probably share my opinion on that. But at the moment, nah, I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, going back to the whole thing about not wanting to like show that, give my daughter a bad experience of what a man is, what a guy, what a dad should be, and again, like, showing her that, you know, I make my own mistakes. We all make mistakes, even if you're grown up. We have to apologize to whenever we mess up. So yeah, that's I don't know, I'm gonna be rambling on. I don't want to make it too long, but again, I'm just gonna make these little videos. Of course, I'm gonna make it better. I'm gonna have topics and talk about certain things. I'm gonna talk about God. I'm gonna talk about Jesus Christ, my beliefs on that, how I started, in my path of as a believer, and then again talk about what it feels being a dad, and again, and a dad to another baby, and to see how those dynamics are going to be. I'm also a dad to a dog, so I learned a lot from being a dog owner, and they teach you a lot of patience. So it's a good preparation to being a parent. Of course, there's a lot of differences, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, well, any comments or anything like that, just make sure to leave them. I'll try to read them and answering them. I'll try to answer them. Again, English is not my first language, so yeah, just have a bit of patience with that. All right, take care. God bless.